Hello. I am doing something I haven't really done before, which is record this as a video as I record the podcast. I'm very excited. Let's see where I put it. Probably YouTube, right? So if you're watching the video, you'll be wherever you're watching the video, YouTube, maybe my website. And if you're on the podcast, you're listening in. So I want to talk to you today about how will you be when you get to where you want to be? How will you be? And also who will you be? So we're going to talk about both. If you hear my pen on my paper, that's what I have pen and paper. I like to jot down notes. I have a podcast notebook and I jot down, those are the thoughts, by the way, for this episode. It's like 2 sentences. And I might just make notes as I talk so that if there are things that drop in that I want to remember, you will see that / hear that. So how will you be when you get to where you want to be? And this, I've seen this in my clients, I've seen this in myself, where you think to yourself, oh, when I get to the end of that goal, when I've created that goal, when I've achieved that goal, then. So it's not even about moving the goalpost. That to me feels different. Moving the goalpost is when we think to ourselves, well, I want to make, 10K next month, and you make 10K and you think, no, that's not enough. I need to make 20. And that can be a really great thing. Moving the goalpost, if you're doing it from your enoughness and you're doing it from your expansion and you're doing it because you want to create more for yourself and claim more and step into more. It could be about a launch. I'm going to have 5 people in my launch this time, and you hit 5 and you're like, oh, I want 10, let's call in 10. But again, there's a difference between doing that from your enoughness or doing it because it feels not enough, right? It's 2 sides of the same coin, but we want to go for when you're looking, if you're someone who does constantly can move the goalposts, we're going to check in, or you can check in when you feel yourself doing that. But this to me feels different. When you are thinking to yourself, there is a way of being for me that I will be able to create or achieve when I get to my goal. This is what we're talking about today. How will you be when you get to where you want to be? And you know that quote, wherever you go, there you are. That to me is a quote that I actually randomly think about it often, because how you are in your business as you build and grow and sustain it and expand in your business is actually how you're going to be when you get there. When we are creating a desire and intention, keeping in mind that quote of wherever you go, there you are, helps you to actually discern how are you being, how are you showing up in your business now as you create more of what you want. And what I find to be so true is that if you are someone who says, let's take a launch. If you're someone who says, oh, when I get to the end of my launch, that's when I'll feel really calm. That's when I'll be able to celebrate. That's when I'll be able to go to that midday yoga class, or go out for lunch at a cafe, or go for an early morning swim or a walk, whatever it is. However you're getting to that state. So let's say you're feeling rushed or stressed, or you're not looking after yourself well, you're not maintaining, sustaining, or kind of looking after your own energy, your wellness in your business. You think, when I get to the end of the launch, then I'll be able to look after myself. Then I'll feel so amazing about myself, and I'll be so, I'll feel so excited about my work, and I'll feel so successful and feel so expanded. But the way you're getting there is by rushing, is by stressing, is by working from a lack energy, from working from not enoughness, working from thinking, I've just got to keep doing more. I've got to do more and more. This isn't working. What else do I have to do? Tell me how you're going to get to your launch and be able to celebrate yourself and be able to reflect without a critical eye, and be able to go to that midday yoga class or take yourself out for lunch and be able to enjoy that time and space that you're giving yourself. It'll be like, I'll cross this out as I say it in case it doesn't apply. It might be a bit of a challenge, right? Because how you got there is actually how you'll be when you get there. And so you're actually going to create more work for yourself if you think, when I get there, I will be able to be X, Y, Z. Why? Because I would have, whatever thoughts come up, because I would have earned it, because I would be more deserving because everything's going to all of a sudden change in how I approach myself and my work and my business. No, you're actually going to be creating not only a bigger gap for yourself in terms of getting there, but you're going to be creating a challenge for yourself when you land on the other side, in air quotes, of that goal, that intention, that desire. Hold on. I thought I would instantly feel amazing here. I thought I would instantly want to celebrate myself and be so proud of myself and be able to navigate this with so much ease and power and grace. But actually you get there how you got there. So you get there and you might feel, and again, crossing this out, you might feel tired. You might want to move those goalposts again. And remember, not from expansion, but from that piece of like, oh, I haven't done enough. This isn't enough. I haven't done enough. And so what do? We close the gap is the first thing. I'm going to talk about that. And we act as if. We step into, who do I want to be now? How do I want to show up now that is reflective of how I want to show up and who I want to be, again in air quotes, on the other side when I get there? Because let me tell you, there, a lot of the time, not always, can feel like here I guess this is the whole point of the episode. There will feel like here if you're getting there from a state that you're not actually enjoying. Now, I'm not saying you've got to enjoy every single moment and every single state in your business all the time. If you know me, you'll know I'm a really huge believer in showing up no matter your mood. Well, in showing up, of course, having days off and time off and all that, but showing up in all of your humanness and showing up with all of your, without perfectionism, right? It's so important that you learn how to, and this is a skill, learn how to trust yourself and create safety within yourself to navigate, manage, maybe not manage, but yeah, manage, navigate, process the discomfort and actually all emotions that come up as you are crafting your business, creating it, growing it, expanding it, and moving in the directions that you want to go in or somewhere better. And that's really important. And that's what I work on within myself all the time. It's what I work on with my clients. How willing are you to feel every emotion that comes up on your way to the top and on your way to where you want to be? How willing are you to feel every emotion? And every emotion might look like not just happiness or, emotional states as well. Happiness, abundance, excitement, success. It's also discomfort, uncertainty, the sense or the perception of failure, the sense of distance between you and your goal. Those are all uncomfortable sensations, frequencies, energies, emotions. You've got to be willing to feel them and move through them and process them in order to create the success that you want in your business. And that's a huge piece of the work that I do with my clients. It's like, it's that energetic work of, hey, you're feeling this. Let's process it. Let's not shy away from it. Let's move it through the body and let's turn that into the fuel, the fire, the flow, the momentum. I just ruined my alliteration, didn't I? That creates more of what you want. So here's how we do this question of how will you be when you get to where you want to be? And also who will you be when you get to where you want to be? So we're going to close the gap and we're going to act as if. And here are a few ways, a few little prompts for you to do this. So you might want to jot these down or come back and listen to this. I want you to think firstly, actually, if you give your body like a little shake and almost pretend like I haven't just been talking to you for, 8-9 minutes. And I want you to ask yourself this: when I get there, in air quotes, when I get there, what will I do? What will I do? How will I act? How will I see myself? What will I be thinking about myself? So you might say something like, oh, well, when I get there, I will totally take a morning off and go to the beach before work. I will 100%, I'll just go lie on the couch at midday and do a yoga class on YouTube afterwards. I would go and work in a cafe. You know what I would do? I would take my laptop and go work from the park for an hour with a really big coffee or smoothie or chai, I don't know, whatever you like. What will I think about myself? Well, I'll just think, oh my God, I did it. I will just think about myself that I'm so proud of myself, and everything that I'm doing is culminating in these ripple effects, this momentum. I will look at myself and be just so proud, in awe of the work I've created. And my clients will be creating such beautiful successes for themselves and in their, whatever industry you're in, if it's healing, if it's creativity, if it's business, if it's life coaching, whatever it is. How will I act? How will I walk through the world? My self-concept, and I want you to think about, like, my self-concept will just be, I'll see myself in this beautiful light. I will have so much grace and grit in me. Like, there'll be this resilience. I'll be so resourced. Can you see what I'm talking about? I know you can. So I want you to ask yourself, when I get there, air quotes, what will I do? How will I think? How will I act? How will I see myself? You're going to have a list. I know you will. And now, drum roll please, you're going to do that now. You're going to embody those states. You're going to put those thoughts online energetically for yourself in your mind. You're going to step into that version of yourself today. Because the more you say, when I get there, when I get there, when I get there, when I get there, the bigger you make the gap. And we want to close that gap. Now, when I say you're making the gap bigger, I'm not bypassing the fact that sometimes these things just take time. Like, especially if your goal is something that's time-based. It's like, oh, well, next year I'm going to do this. Or, you've got a few goals in line and you're one human and you're doing one thing at a time. So I'm not saying that as I said, to bypass like the time piece, right? We can also always collapse time and bend time and do all good things. But I'm saying that because you're focusing on something that feels outside of you, and so you're going to move towards it as if it is outside of you. Let's shake that out. Shake, shake, shake. Let's bring that in now. Create that from within now, with knowing that you actually have everything you need now to create your path to where you want to go or somewhere better. And so when I say that, what I mean is you have the capacity. And we can expand capacity, right? You have the ability and we can expand ability. You have the awareness and we can expand awareness. And I know that sounds like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I've just said, you've got everything you need and we can expand. And that's just, I hold that paradox. I have everything I need right now to X, Y, Z. And I can always expand that, deepen it, embody it even more, because all that is working from my enoughness, right? And you working from yours. I want you to make a list, like an actual list. How are you going to be when you get there? What are you going to do? All those questions. There's no perfect version of those questions. I just jotted some down. So you'll see actually if you're watching the video. Now we have some more notes. Okay, this is how I roll. What will I do when I get there? How will I think? How will I act? How will I be? Who will I be? How will I see myself? What will be my perception of myself? And then you're going to act as if. So you're going to look in your calendar. And look, I know in real time, it's the end of the year and you might be taking a little break. That's fine. You can just embody this for the new year. You can pad this into your planning for next year. I want you to say to yourself, alrighty, when is that morning when I'm going to go to the beach before work? And when I say before work, that might mean dropping the kids off and going to the beach at 9 o'clock for 20 minutes. Where am I going to go for lunch? What day am I going to go? I'm going to book it into my calendar. When am I going to make that time to lie on that couch and do that nothing? Just lie there. How am I going to practice the beliefs and the thoughts that I want to believe and think about myself, and make them create a truthfulness within myself now? How could I enjoy being here? If you were going to be here for the next week, 2 weeks, month, instead of fighting against yourself to be further ahead, if you were going to be here, even if there was discomfort, how could you actually create more joy and more space and more peace and more power today? That will unlock so much for you. What could you tweak now for joy, for like the word that comes to me? I don't really use this word, but it's coming through, wonderment. How could you enjoy today? And that will help you close the gap, that acting as if, that bringing it in. And remembering, wherever you go, there you are. How you get there is how you'll be when you're there. Wherever you go, there you are. And I'm sure, what comes to me is like, I'm sure we all have had that thought where you're like, I just need to get away. I just need to go on a holiday. Anytime I've had that thought in my life, and not because I don't love holidays, but I'm like, all right, Cass, well, let's just check in, because however I am now is I'm taking that version. I'm taking her on the holiday too. And so you want to actually create, like I actually years ago wrote this blog post when I was doing more naturopathy work on how to not get sick before your holiday. How to go on a holiday where you want to rest and relax and recuperate and enjoy yourself. How to go on that holiday already feeling more rested than you think you would had you not read my blog post. And it was such an amazing post for me to write. I really loved it because I was saying to my reader, hey, you don't have to wait to get on the airplane or the train or the bus, whatever, the car, to like exhale and kind of release. You can do that now. And that just came to me. That feels like a really good analogy, not even analogy, story, because it actually is true. I don't know where that blog post is now, by the way. It's definitely not on my website. And I think I went to find it one day and could not. So I might have deleted it when I made a big website change a few years ago. So I'm going to leave you with that. I've got my mastermind call in 5 minutes. Do you reckon I can make a coffee in between? We shall see. And I would love to invite you to join me in Brave, which is my brand new mastermind starting in March 2025. I will pop the link to learn more and join me in the show notes. Depending on when you are coming in and joining, there are some discounts and bonuses happening, and all that info will be at the link. And if you just want to head straight there, it's CassieMendoza-Jones.com/mastermind, but probably maybe just easier to click through whatever link I'm going to pop in the show notes wherever you're watching or listening, and you'll be able to learn more about this beautiful container and the support that's going to be available inside, and the expansion that you will be stepping into should you wish to join us. We have a beautiful group, a beautiful crew already formed inside, and I cannot wait to meet and coach and heal and expand and rise together. I'm here for any questions, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next episode.